Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. Today's content is dedicated to the older kids, and by kids I mean adults. That's right, because today we explore 10 significant characters from the iconic animated series of the 1960s, Jonny Quest. When we dive into old school cartoons, franchises like Scooby-Doo and Tom and Jerry usually steal the spotlight. But what has kept these shows a hit with kids from every era? It's the endless reruns and the knack for cooking up new adventures for these beloved characters. Unfortunately, that's not the case with young Jonny boy here, hence many of you may never have heard about the show. So Gen Z, get set for a mind-blowing adventure through a fantastical realm with sci-fi wonders as the adults take a trip down memory lane. Strap in for an unforgettable journey. And just before we go into our video, we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, now let's begin. Backdrop of the show. Jonny Quest remains a significant character in the world of action-adventure, originating as a highly successful primetime animated series produced by Hanna-Barbera in 1964. Its popularity endured through various iterations across television, comics and video games until the 1990s. The original series garnered a strong following among both children and adults, receiving praise from critics as well. Even after the initial run, it continued to captivate audiences through syndication and occasional reboots, like the New Adventures of Jonny Quest in the 1980s and the Real Adventures of Jonny Quest in the 1990s. The franchise also expanded into the realm of video games during the 90s. Centered around the globe-trotting escapades of an 11-year-old boy, his scientist father, adopted brother Haji, government bodyguard and trusted bulldog, the series lasted only one season, comprising 26 episodes. However, its enduring popularity led to reruns that continued until the early 2000s. Given its heyday and subsequent reruns, it's understandable that individuals born after that period might not be familiar with the show unless they have an older family member who was a fan and introduced them to it. So who are the 10 most important characters from the show? Well, let's find out.
Boy, I don't blame you, Bandit. That funny face would scare anybody.
Jonny Quest. So let's kick off with the main character, Jonny Quest himself. Jonny Quest is the son of Dr. Benton Quest, a brilliant scientist who works for the USA. Their home is on a private island in the Florida Keys where Dr. Quest conducts his research in his laboratory. Jonny frequently joins his father on scientific missions. After losing his mother at a young age, Jonny was put under the constant protection of Race Bannon, his bodyguard, to ensure both his safety and to avoid compromising the scientific work of his father. Jonny is characterized as brave, thoughtful, and fiercely loyal to his friends and family. However, he can also display impulsiveness, impatience, and a bit of a brash attitude. He frequently jumps into risky situations, disregarding instructions to stay back, all because he can't stand missing out on the excitement and action. However, Jonny's quick thinking usually helps them devise plans to navigate tricky situations, allowing he and his friends to escape. He's been trained in judo, scuba diving, and firearms handling. Additionally, his adventures and side missions have honed his skills in cartography as well. He can effortlessly flip a guy twice his size over his head without even breaking a sweat. Now that's some serious martial arts prowess for a kid his age. Physically, Jonny is an 11-year-old boy with blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin. His typical attire consists of black long-sleeved shirts paired with blue or light brown pants. Interestingly, in the 1980s series, his eye colour changed from blue to brown. Undoubtedly, Jonny Quest played a significant role in popularising the archetype of the boy adventurer. Dr. Benton Quest. As we all know by now, Dr. Benton Quest is Jonny's widowed father, renowned as both a scientist and an explorer. He leads groundbreaking research across various fields, and he's often called upon to investigate unusual events worldwide. Benton's brilliance shone early in life, showcasing his exceptional talent across various scientific disciplines, including active involvement in archaeological excavations. Eventually, he married Rachel Wildey, the daughter of Doug Wildey, and began working for the government. Their union brought forth a son, Jonny. Tragically, Rachel met her demise under undisclosed hostile circumstances some years later. After losing his wife, the government, recognizing Dr. Quest's immense value, appointed Race Bannon as the family's bodyguard to ensure Jonny's safety so that he wouldn't compromise his father's work, and we'll revisit this aspect later on. Dr. Benton Quest's dedication to his work runs deep, fueled by a profound commitment to improving the lives of humanity. His inventions focus on defense and improving people's health and quality of life. While his missions sometimes require him to separate himself from Jonny and his adopted son Haji, he remains a caring and devoted father. He relishes opportunities to involve the boys in his expeditions whenever possible. Physically, Dr. Quest is a man in his mid to late 30s, sporting crimson hair, a mustache and a full beard. Dr. Quest is incredibly intrigued by peculiar phenomena and has an insatiable curiosity to delve into the world's mysteries, always eager to study the unexplained.
Let me get a
Race Bannon. Race Bannon, an ex-Navy SEAL, was initially assigned by the US government to safeguard Dr. Quest, his son, and the Doctor's experiments. His primary role was to watch over and tutor Jonny, but he frequently finds himself assisting Dr. Benton Quest in perilous missions. Race boasts a black belt in judo and karate, armed with weapons training from the Navy and specialized demolition skills acquired during his time with the SEALs. Assigned initially, he now willingly remains with the Quests, transitioning from his official capacity to a friend and ally. Born in Wilmette, Illinois, Race is the son of John and Sarah Bannon. In The Real Adventures of Jonny Quest, it's unveiled that Race has a daughter named Jessie Bannon, who occasionally joins the Quest team when she isn't with her mother, Estela Velasquez. Race's affiliation seems to have shifted from Intelligence 1, and he appears to be directly employed by Dr. Quest now, although he occasionally gets drawn back into agency affairs. Fearless and unwaveringly reliable, Race prioritizes protecting Dr. Quest, Jonny, Haji, and Jessie above all else. His charming wit is his trademark, often peppering serious situations with quirky sayings and dry humour. Haji is Jonny Quest's closest friend and his adopted brother. He had a challenging start as an orphan on the streets of Calcutta, India. He found guidance and support from Pasha Peddler, an Indian merchant who looked after him. His education came from both Pasha and interactions with some US Marines. He possesses seemingly limited supernatural abilities, capable of altering probabilities to achieve seemingly impossible outcomes, often showcased by his ability to levitate himself. Whether these skills are genuinely supernatural or merely skilled magicians' tricks varies across different series. Alongside his mystical talents, Haji exhibits prowess in athletics and scientific research, and has received some training in judo from Race, just like Jonny. In The Real Adventures of Jonny Quest, Haji is known as Haji Singh. Initially, his adopted status is subtly portrayed, described as Dr. Quest's assistant in the first season, but it becomes more apparent in the second season that he is indeed Dr. Quest's adopted son. His mystical abilities are toned down in season 2, hinting that his mother possessed similar skills. Moreover, it's revealed that he was an exiled prince and the rightful heir to a principality's throne. Pasha, hired initially as an assassin, couldn't bring himself to harm the young prince and instead became his protector. Due to the trauma and his young age, Haji's memory of his past was suppressed until a device created by Dr. Quest helped him recall his true identity. As the older brother figure, Haji's character was crafted to be more composed and even-tempered. He leans towards pursuing mystic arts or aiding Dr. Quest in his scientific endeavours, contrasting with Jonny, who exudes enthusiasm and a thirst for adventure.
One judo lesson coming up.
Bandit. Bandit is an essential Quest family member as their adored pet dog. A charming mix of pug and bulldog, he boasts a white coat accentuated by a striking black mask-like patch around his eyes, perfectly suiting his name, Bandit. His unwavering loyalty and remarkable intelligence make him invaluable companions to Jonny and the rest, ensuring he's a part of their adventures, affirming their unbreakable bond. Despite finding himself in dangerous situations during their missions, he miraculously avoids actual danger. Bandit displays a level of intelligence that suggests he understands Jonny, Haji, and the group's conversations, even though his mode of communication is limited to barking. Although he appears brave in front of his family, he tends to cower when faced with genuine threats. In The Real Adventures, an interesting twist occurs as Bandit drinks from the River of Life, granting him immortality. Additionally, in this version, he sports a red collar adorned with a golden tag.
Dr. Quest is taking the bait, just as I wanted.
Dr. Zinn. Dr. Zinn is a recurring antagonist in the Jonny Quest series, a brilliant, nefarious scientist and a long-standing rival of Dr. Benton Quest. His character is known for his evil intentions and expertise in technology and scientific advancements. Dr. Zinn's like this shadowy mastermind, always pulling strings on a global scale. He's all about crazy plans, aiming for world domination, or just stacking up his own power for fun. His interactions with the Quest team typically involve high-stakes encounters where his intelligence and cunning serve as a significant challenge to Dr. Quest and his associates. He is depicted as a man with brown eyes, medium light skin, and a distinctive appearance, sporting a black goatee and bald head. His East Asian heritage is evident in his features. Zinn is often impeccably dressed, featuring an asymmetrical suit jacket paired with an ascot. In his younger years, Dr. Zinn boasted a full head of black hair and a mustache, contrasting his later appearance with the bald head and goatee. Dr. Zinn's knack for tech and creating those crazy gadgets amps up his villain vibes. That's why he's such a big deal in Jonny Quest.
They say the spirit of Anubis follows us. You see, Dr. Quest, how strong
Dr. Ahmed Kareem. Dr. Ahmed Kareem, once a colleague of Dr. Benton Quest, turned into an antagonist in the series. He was often seen clad in a white suit with a yellow shirt and black tie, accentuated by a red fez. Kareem featured black hair with greying temples, brown eyes, and a small black moustache. While he only appeared once in the original Jonny Quest series, his presence was notable enough to get a place in our list. In the episode titled The Curse of Anubis, Kareem summoned Dr. Quest, his family, and race Bannon to Egypt, supposedly to witness his latest discovery, the remains of a lost city. However, Kareem harboured ulterior motives. Unbeknownst to him, the mummy of Anubis had escaped from its tomb, seeking retribution for the evil act Kareem was planning. Kareem's scheme involved trapping Race and Dr. Quest in a tomb in the lost city, alongside snakes and one of Anubis's treasures. He aimed to frame them for stealing the treasure, ensuring that they faced severe consequences, dead or alive. His plan succeeded momentarily until Jonny and Haji intervened, rescuing Dr. Quest and Race. Enraged, Kareem attempted to shoot them but faced the wrath of Anubis's mummy, resulting in both Kareem and the mummy meeting their demise in a cave-in caused by the latter's intervention. What a way to go. Jade. Jade, also known as Jezebel Jade, operates as a hired mercenary, an entrepreneur, and a vital ally of the Quest team, while also carrying a complex relationship with Race Bannon. Her initial encounter with Jonny and Haji in the Thai jungle suggests a prior connection with Jonny, sparking immediate trust and collaboration. There's also a romantic history hinted between Jade and an imposter posing as Race, leading to assumptions about their past involvement. However, when the actual Race is found, Jade aids everyone's escape with her helicopter, implying her lingering feelings for Race, despite her upfront nature about charging for her assistance. Physically, Jade is described as an attractive woman with black hair, fair skin, and a conventionally slim appearance, featuring distinct features like high cheekbones, a petite nose, and long eyelashes. Her ethnic background and race remains somewhat ambiguous, sometimes portraying her as possibly Caucasian with British origins or possibly of Asian descent. Different interpretations of her character also depict varied ethnicities, occasionally showing her as Caucasian with an American accent. Jade exudes toughness, courage, and a driven nature, readily leaping into action when needed. She maintains composure in intense situations, precisely handling firearms and adeptly driving various vehicles. Her lifestyle preferences hint at expensive tastes and luxurious living standards. Additionally, Jade's abilities seemingly extend to using firearms accurately, driving various vehicles proficiently, and possibly discerning a man's true identity through a single kiss. However, the reliability of this skill beyond Race Bannon remains a matter of debate. Alright, you can whistle.
With my experiment, I have developed the laser gun into the ultimate weapon.
Lizard Man Chief. The Lizard Men made a striking appearance as one of the primary antagonistic groups in the inaugural episode of the original Jonny Quest series. This secretive foreign faction was discovered in the Sargasso Sea and engaged in covert laser experiments. Their strategy involved donning green lizard-like disguises to intimidate and deter any intruders. Led by a chief figure, their sinister plan involved using the laser to sabotage a rocket bound for the moon. When Race, Jonny, and Bandit escape a shipwreck, the chief orders one of the lizard men to fire the laser at Dr. Benton's vessel. However, a stroke of luck led to the laser beam being reflected by a mirror, redirecting it back towards the shipwreck. This resulted in a catastrophic explosion, annihilating both the chief and the remaining lizard men aboard the vessel. Despite their brief stint, the impactful appearance of the lizard men definitely secures a spot in our list.
A quest.
We are honored to be received so cordially, Dr. Ashida.
Everything on Ashida.
Dr. Ashida. Another antagonist from the original Jonny Quest series was Dr. Ashida, a zoologist focused on breeding and genetically modifying Tabora lizards into a colossal dragon-like creature. Similar to the lizard men, Dr. Ashida's character appeared only once in the series in an episode titled Dragons of Ashida. Dr. Ashida was a Japanese zoologist residing on his island named Ashida, who aimed to rescue the Tabora lizard species from extinction. He achieved this by conducting experiments on the remaining Taboras, genetically transforming them into 14-foot monsters whom he named the Ashida Dragons after himself, highlighting his egotistical nature. When the Quests visited the island, unaware of his descent into madness, Ashida challenged Race Bannon to a martial arts contest. His subsequent defeat fueled extreme volatility and anger, leading to his refusal to allow the Quests to leave the island. However, his efforts to imprison or unleash his dragons upon them were futile. Blaming his servant Sumi, whom he ruthlessly mistreated, Ashida threatened to to feed him to the dragons, but Sumi, having endured enough of the scientist's abuse, took matters into his own hands and pushed Ashida into the pit where the dragons were housed. It's suggested that Ashida met his end, presumably devoured by the very creatures he had created. Apart from the inflated ego, Dr. Ashida was domineering, competitive and highly skilled in martial arts like judo and karate. Marvellous verdict. And that brings us to the end of the video. The world of Jonny Quest might not be as well known as other classic cartoons, but its impact on the landscape of adventure animation remains undeniable. Each character brings unique qualities to the mix. Leaving out the protagonists, even the antagonists like Dr. Zin, Dr. Ashida and Dr. Ahmed Kareem provide unique challenges, their intellect and sinister intentions testing the Quest team's mettle. The series' colourful array of characters and their thrilling exploits left an indelible mark despite the show's limited original run. While Jonny Quest might not enjoy the same widespread recognition as some of his counterparts, its characters and their timeless adventures remain etched in the hearts of those who experienced the thrill of globe-trotting action-packed storytelling in the 1960s and beyond. So who's your favourite character from Jonny Quest? Let us know in the comments section down below. And if you liked the video, remember to hit the like button and share this video with everyone you know. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.